Ramran Law Firm, we understand the importance of your constitutional rights. We truly care that we must get a client their desired result. If your freedom is compromised in any way, you call us. We do immigration, state and federal criminal defense, personal injury, bankruptcy, DWIs, family law, real estate law. We want you to be confident in our ability to represent you.
Welcome to Eric A. Cinotti Unplugged, where we pull back that curtain on horrific things in law, government, and other societal issues. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to dig crazy deep into some things that almost seems like it's not real, but trust me, it is. We're going to dig into the rock, the mole, very deep in America's legal foundation, our justice system, the very one that claims to be blind. If you everybody look at the statue, blind lady, blind justice, but it's flawed, maybe, right? In many cases, it's outright failing, and innocent men and women sit in prison and then are stuck in systemic incompetence and corruption and grind on like an oiled machine, like nothing ever happened. Because when the government wants to do what they want to do, they do it. They just do what they're going to do. They have an unimaginable amount of resources. We know about this. We're going to get into the morning, but we know what happens. We don't need to get into that, but we're going to go there tonight. But what if I told you one of those incarcerated men didn't just wait for the system to give him justice? He built his own. Using AI, folks, artificial intelligence, a prison cell, and raw determination. And you know, I love raw determination and I love some grit. He created a platform that could disrupt everything we know about post-conviction defense. But I also think, and when we get him in a minute, I believe it also could do more than just post-conviction defense. I think it could be post-accusation. Many people have had accusation and charges brought against them, maybe downgraded, dismissed, or whatever, but their reputation and their personal feeling, they are suffering, folks. This is real. This is not fantasy. This is real. And we're going to go for it tonight. We have a special guest. There is a great introduction to be made here, but I'm going to give you a little background, and I cannot wait to get him in. My guest this evening truly is an innovator and a disruptor. And boy, I love a disruptor when the disruption is called for, warranted, and constitutional, folks. Constitutional. He's a disruptor, a man, innovator, a disruptor behind bars, folks. Behind bars. That's right. He built InMyDefenseFund.com. It is a groundbreaking platform that blends AI, data analytics, and grassroots activism to expose wrongful convictions and empower the accused. Which that is just according to our Constitution here. Let's be happy to pull one up here. Here's a copy of the Constitution. And you got to say to yourself, I had to pull that up. We are supposed to be of the people, by the people, and for the people. And the accused are the people. Yet the cards are all in favor with the government. This is for the accused. His story is part of a protest, is part of a prophecy. And tonight, you're going to hear it in his own words. So we're going to be bringing in our guest tonight. Let's just get him in here. His name is James. Gary, can we bring James in?
James, you are on air.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
Hey, James, how are you today?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
I'm good. I'm fine.
I can.
Thank you for asking.
Wonderful. So I'm gonna break down a little bit of your story, just for the, and then we need a ticker up there. If you could just say your name real quick, and then we're gonna get into the questions I have for you. But just give your name and currently where you are.
I'm in California, James, and my company is inmydefensefund.com. It's similar to a GoFundMe for post-conviction relief.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Let me
Okay.
get the and folks, I apologize if you're listening there on your radio dial in the car, or you're watching on your TV screen. If it's not on your cable provider, demand it. Demand Unplugged and demand the hostile zone. Anyway, I'm going to give a little background here, and then we're going to get moving into it.
Okay.
We're going to start from the beginning here. James here was convicted back in 2002, then retried again, right? Am I correct? 2002, right? Because we're having a lot of back and forth here.
The issue case, yes, in New York is 2002, yes.
So we're going to start from the beginning. We have James on the line here. And folks, if you're driving, watching, whatever, if there's a little delay, there's a time difference, and James is in a different location, and he can't be on camera right now, bunch of different reasons. So I apologize for any technical difficulties. This is a story you want to sit. Trust me. So let me try to get us a little bit to the beginning here, and I'm sure when we get James in again here, he can help me articulate the facts a little bit better. In 2002, he was convicted, then again retried in 2015 in California under what he claims, and I believe too, are already disproven charge. Walk with us through what really happened. Who Tiffany Price is and Karen Har are in this story. So James, are you there? Welcome to the show again. I hope we don't have any technical delays. Just bear with us on here. I'll wait a couple seconds when you're done talking, and you do the same so we don't jump on each other.
Sounds great. All right. So in this case, Tiffany Price was the primary witness in the New York charge of promoting prostitution and pimping and pandering. Well, actually, it was pimping and pandering and promoting prostitution.
This was on the federal level, right? Federal.
Well,
correct?
actually, no. It was on the state of New York level, and the feds got involved and found out that Tiffany Price and Karen Har were lying based on things that Tiffany Price did during that investigation. The feds completely dropped the case because they realized that she was lying once they started investigating.
Okay.
But the New York Manhattan district, they hung on to the case because my co-D took a 5-year probation on that, and they still wanted to talk to me. I came into custody a while later, and I took a 2-year deal. And
what did you take a deal for? Can I ask
took a deal for promoting prostitution and a minor assault. Whereas this was at that time 8 years old at that point. I took that to get it out of the way. Look, I knew it was nothing at the time with them. It came over a dispute over who was paying for a hotel room in actuality in New York. It really didn't come from anything other than that. So that's how the case initially began. Once that was done and all that was said and done and it was over, I thought the whole situation was done. 15 years later, because Tiffany Price.
I can't imagine the thought of that. I can't even imagine.
Tiffany Price turns out to be.
Nobody can imagine 15 years later coming back at you. That's just
absolutely
unreal.
So Tiffany Price decided her fame after her porn career post the situation in New York.
Is that her real? Now, Tiffany Price is her adult actress screen name, correct?
Yes. Her
real name? Can we say that?
Her actual name in the case is Natasha Herzig. She was Natasha Bradshaw back then. But 2 months into the investigation, when she claimed, that's why the feds dropped it. She claimed that they were kidnapped and forced to prostitute. When the Federal Bureau of Investigations investigated everything, they realized that she was an independent and she was traveling the country and doing all these things on her own, both the girls. Once they went back home, they did that. They told that story to tell their parents to cover up what they were really doing. So when she went back home,
this is like textbook after I slept with you, and I decided I feel bad about it. Yeah,
exactly. So once she got back home, 2 months into the investigation, I was still absconded, as you would say. But she became a porn star. She was a porn star for the next 5-6 years, winning all kinds of awards at the AVN.
She was well known. He was well known.
Yes, very well known porn star.
The adult industry. I need to remind you, James, one thing, and we fall under FCC, Federal Communications, so we have to be careful on what we say, language and things of content.
I understand. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm ready with some questions. If you felt like
go right ahead.
We're gonna dig into this, James. This is your time. Okay, this is your
Absolutely.
time,
Go
your
ahead.
voice.
Go ahead.
All right. So, and if there's anything I'm going to ask you, I want to be legal about it. I don't want you to compromise anything you have. I don't want you to violate any attorney-client privilege. If you have anybody at this time, I don't want to get you to make any other problems. So you just tell me
I understand.
no, and I will not ask you anything further. We
I
do
totally
not
understand.
sandbag or set people up on my show. Okay.
Yes, I got you. Thank you.
Okay. How do you explain the shift from your original charge in New York to the expanded ones in California?
Say
I
that
think
once
that's
again. I'm sorry. I didn't understand you.
how
Go
do
ahead.
you? No, it's okay. It's all right. How do you explain the shift, basically from your original case in New York to these expanded whatever charges out of California?
Tiffany
in your opinion.
Price, this is how I see it. Tiffany Price, or should I say Natasha Herzig, her real name, she became a seminar guest for profit. And with that, that's
And if
how she
somebody
got
in
on
the
American.
studio here can look up Tiffany Price and pulls up some footage for me, that'd be great. All right, I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah. So she became this person. Oh, now you're an advocate against that because she saw the publicity that she got on national television with America's Most
She
Wanted.
took advantage
So
of
she
it.
turned that into a career. Yeah.
She was on America's Most
The
Wanted.
career collided 13 years later in California.
Wait. This is big. You said she was on America's Most Wanted, like as in Adam Walsh?
Yes.
That show? Wow.
I was
Wow.
too.
Folks
She brought
out there,
me
yeah,
and
that's
my
amazing.
co-D on there. Yes. Telling lies.
Wow.
In
Wow.
fact, the lies were so. In fact, the New York case, when it was settled in 2011, when I was in court, America's Most Wanted was in court with their cameras.
Wow.
This
Unreal.
is
We got full
over,
file
though,
footage up on that.
because all
Wow.
of it was really lies. My lawyer at the time, big time attorney in New York, they got me. I
You
had
could say his name.
$70,000.
I mean, if you want,
I'm
you
sorry.
could say his name or not. It's up to you. It's up to you if you
Okay.
want to say who the lawyer was.
No, I had a Murray. They call him Don't Worry Murray out of Brooklyn. And I also had Eric Franz. They had both of them. And basically, they knew it was a bullshit case. Eric, in fact, was actually upset that I didn't take it to trial. I was sitting down the first time in my life for 18 months.
Very upset to take it to trial. It's your wife, though, and sitting in the courtroom and all that money.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But he really knew that he could bury her.
Who wants to roll the
lies
dice?
that she had been
Yeah,
telling. He
and
knew,
nobody ever
all
wins
of
these
the
cases.
stuff that she had done. So anyway, it was over at that time. I didn't have probation or anything.
Right.
All this was done. Come 2015, both my Cody and I get rearrested at our house in Northern California.
For the folks out there, what is a Cody?
I'm sorry?
For the folks that are watching and listening, what is a Cody?
What is the Coney?
What's a Cody?
I know what it is, but for the folks
Co-defendant.
listening,
I'm sorry. Co-defendant.
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
remember,
My
you're going to have lay people listening as well.
I'm sorry.
This is your
Yes,
chance.
my co-defendant and
America's
I were
hearing you.
rearrested. We were rearrested
Okay.
at our house based on charges from 2002 in California in 2015.
Unreal.
The only reason why that was the case is because I was in going to court at the time, family court, to get custody over my second oldest child. And the unapproved guardian that her mother, her mother and I were on the same team, but the guardian that had the child called the police because I said, I'm keeping my child. I don't need anybody I take care of my own children. So the police that came remembered my wife and I at a seminar that he seen with Natasha and put a case on us based solely on that because of the publicity. Really? That's it.
Wow.
Nobody was rearrested, no other new crimes. This person was telling these lies that had already been disproven in New York about being kidnapped and everything else because we had none of those charges. All those charges were dropped in New York because they weren't true.
Now, at that time, that was state in New York or federal?
It started off federal and state. Then the feds dropped
when they came back again the next time, the feds dropped it, and then California
they dropped
picked
it back then because of what Natasha was doing.
But I'm saying, who picked it up?
California? They'd already proven that she lied several times.
Right. Credibility went out the window, of course. Yeah.
Right. This was dead.
I mean, but just for the folks out there, just because you're in that industry doesn't mean you can't be sexually assaulted. We're not saying that.
No,
we're
absolutely.
saying if you're going to,
absolutely. I'm not saying any of that.
A victim is a victim, but
only thing that I've been looking for is the truth. Because if I had the truth, I wouldn't be here right now. Everything.
So what do you want? What is it you want, James?
The truth.
You want the truth?
Yes.
You can't handle the truth. I couldn't wait to
That's all I need is the truth. Because if the truth came through, I would be home with my family.
Right.
I am a family man.
My oldest was able to plug that line.
Here's something you might have not known about me. My oldest daughter, I raised her from 3 years old. She's a double master's college graduate. She's in financing, and I was a single father with her. They don't know my past. You paint a picture that you want the public to see. to get
Well,
away
that's
with
what they do. Exactly. That's what
That's
they
what
do.
you
And
do.
you know
You
what,
don't
James?
know who
We
I
got to
am.
take a short commercial break. Don't
Okay.
go anywhere, James. Folks,
Absolutely.
Eric A. Cinotti, Unplugged, right here on your FM dial, your AM dial, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're everywhere. We got to pay the bills. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
At the Rembrandt Law Firm, we understand the importance of your constitutional rights. We truly care that we must get a client their desired result. If your freedom is compromised in any way, you call us. We do immigration, state and federal criminal defense, personal injury, bankruptcy, DWIs, family law, real estate law. We want you to be confident in our ability to represent you.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Eric A. Cinotti, Unplugged. Right here tonight, we are discussing, a terrible case. There's like so many of them that are like this. We could do, forever on this, but in defense fund. All right, bring James back in. James, still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So, James, before we left back in, we were talking about adult entertainment actress Tiffany Price. So then they brought back these charges in California in 15.
13
right?
years later.
13 years later. So here's my question to you.
Statute of limitations violated,
James.
all of that.
Yeah, we're going to hit all that. We're going to hit that. But what I want to ask you, and I think the folks out there at home want to hear this stuff, and we got a lot to get into. And we also, folks, if you're listening or watching, we're having James on my other syndicated show, The Hostile Zone, and he's going to discuss the case with Bianca C. and myself, Bianca C. SCA. Okay, so James, let me ask you, why do you believe that California prosecution lacked the jurisdiction or violated the statute of limitations? Why do you feel that? What's your take on it?
This is my take on it. And they said this in trial. This is a political move. This has nothing to do with me, my co-D, right and wrong or justice. Cases like that, with all that publicity, America's Most Wanted, it was on GMA, it was on Little House of Horrors. She was on everything making money. She's on seminars, all this stuff. Well, a DA that's up and coming, young hotshot, that looks good on his resume. That's what it comes down to. It has nothing to do with me. Has nothing to do with
I was telling somebody to
co-D.
look up Tiffany Price for me to put some information up here.
With all of that publicity, oh yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to jump into this case all as illegal as possible by any means necessary, and we're going to get this conviction. How do you come back with 100-something year life sentence on something that the feds had dropped and New York didn't even look at it that
All
serious?
right, so wait a minute. You said something very big here, James. You said a what kind of a what sentence do you have now?
119 year in life sentence.
119 year to life.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the question I'd like to ask you.
And what is the
regarding
conviction?
That.
Absolutely. But let me just, for the folks out there, and I will answer that
Okay.
question. Absolutely. For the folks out there, because this is like mind blowing, and I want to cover this in depth.
Okay.
What is the final conviction that you got? 100 years to life.
It was conspiracy to commit human trafficking.
Wow.
And human trafficking.
Now let me ask you straight out: did you or did you not associate with human trafficking? And if you don't want to answer for any other reason,
I'm gonna answer that. I'm gonna answer that. This is how I answer that.
Okay.
Back then, 2002, we played around with what everyone else was playing around with, the internet. People were online,
right.
And we were answering phones, and yada yada yada. At the end of the day, that's why I only got the charge in New York of promoting prostitution, because at the end of the day, that's all it was.
Right.
When
but
you
can actually promote prostitution.
Yeah, you're taking a person, they're making money, your company's making money. This is what was happening at the time. This was big. Internet was doing this.
This almost sounds like some Andrew Tate stuff.
There were housewives involved in this.
Kind of reminds me of that
time.
Housewives. Wow.
Again,
you want to give some details on that? You want to give some details on what their conspiracy is and whatever?
I'm sorry?
You give us some details if you can. For people that don't know.
Here's where they played the conspiracy concept. They played the conspiracy concept saying that it was an ongoing conspiracy that started in 2002, and it went on unabated till 2015. Okay, so I want to ask you something, Eric.
Okay,
How
ask me.
is a conspiracy unabated when both me and my co-D went to jail at Rikers behind what they claimed to be the 2002 conspiracy? Well, if the
Right.
conspiracy was charged, it's dead now. How did you come 15 or 13 years later talking about a conspiracy without proof?
Right. And I was
Yep.
thinking, I was going to thinking that, and that's why I want to read more, and we're going to talk this on the other show as well. And we're going to get to this as my engineers are
Okay.
giving me more information as we're
All
talking.
right.
Now, one is state and one was federal, correct? As of now, right?
I'm sorry.
Your conviction in New York was federal or state?
State.
Okay. And then California is
13
federal
years
or state?
later, state.
Federal or state? State.
State.
That is quite
Non-jurisdictionally
interesting.
at that point.
Yeah. How do
state.
they have a jurisdictional connection? What is
You
their
broke up on
jurisdiction?
me. Sorry.
I said, what is their jurisdictional connection for you in California?
You're
all
breaking
these
up
years
really
later?
bad.
Gary, is it
Breaking
me or
up.
him?
I can't.
I don't know. Gary,
Got to be him.
Here you go.
got to be him.
Okay.
Okay.
He's back now.
I'm here. It was you. There's a bad connection with you. We'll just keep rolling. I'm here.
Okay.
The mic's yours, my friend. Keep going. We can hear you.
James, are you there?
I'm here.
James,
All right, keep going.
keep going, James. I'm hearing you.
Okay. What was the question again? Sorry.
No, I was saying that on what grounds and what's their alleged jurisdiction? And there's a lot of background here. What is their alleged jurisdiction in California to charge you with something that allegedly occurred in New York? I kind of have an idea. There's definitely a lot of noise in the background. I apologize, but I think I know. But I want you to say.
I can answer that.
Okay.
What they claim is it was an ongoing conspiracy, but the thing is, using the fake conspiracy was and they got this thing they called straddled crime. Basically, what they're saying is you started in 2002, you went on interrupted with this conspiracy to 2015, which is automatically a lie because both my co-D, she took 5 years probation from New York after spending 10 months in Rikers behind these same two girls. I took a 2-year deal and I was 18 months in Rikers behind the same two girls. That issue is dead. If there was a conspiracy, which it wasn't, but if there was a conspiracy, that conspiracy, according to the law, is defeated. You need evidence for a new conspiracy to go on to 2015, which there's nothing in my record saying that. I've done the research.
I'm wondering, and then I want to get into more specificity with your program. Name your program one more time. Plug it one more time. What's the name of the program? The nonprofit.
It's called inmydefensefund.com, and then there's a piggyback to. Excuse me. It's called AI in My Defense. Now with inmydefensefund.com, it works like a GoFundMe for post-conviction relief. Understand, every donation that comes in to the person, it goes it's earmarked only for post-legal defense, post-legal private investigation, post-legal defense. Because if you had the money, you could probably afford a lawyer to get you out of all
course.
the shit.
Isn't that always the way, James? Isn't that always the way?
And the thing is, now I will say this, I feel fair about saying this. One is an open source AI. The AI one is open source. I created the open source because I wanted people in the county jail before they get convicted. Because here's how that works.
Access to it. Right.
You know a lot of stuff about your case once you've been convicted, but it's much harder.
Right. After when they throw the discovery
at you, know more about your case from the county jail. I want you to know, because you give a public defender, he's not necessarily going to defend you properly. So you might want to know something. My AI is going to do research on everybody that's doing something crooked. If the DA is doing something crooked, malicious prosecution, I want people to feed my AI that information on that prosecutor. So it builds up that.
Do you have a link? Do you have a link for that? That they get? Is this actively available for people right now? As I'm looking at
Well,
stuff
right
as
now,
I'm talking to you,
the
actually.
one that's available, it's a temporary link. It's inmydefensefund.com. That's the one that acts like GoFundMe. So what it does is it
Okay.
allows you, the defendant, to tell your story, because the narrative is in the hands of the law. So they make you look like the criminal that you're not. So what
Right.
I want you to
And then
do
you'll
is
never fix that. Yeah.
that's why I call it your truth page on my site.
Yeah.
This is your truth. This is who you really are. I'm supposed,
Right.
and then also my AI investigates everybody doing something wrong on your case. If there's hidden information, if someone lied, let's say for instance this, I asked this question real quick, and I was thinking of creating another site called Testaliers. It's the word that I came up with.
You want to win that now before somebody
You
steals
already
that?
get where it's going, right? So
Yeah, I
Testaliers
do. I
is
do.
this.
Go for it. Get them
If
up.
Eric,
Listen,
if you were my brother-in-law and you were my best friend, and you say, James, I want you to testify on my behalf and I want you to lie. I got you. I'm going to step on that stage and I'm going to swear, and I'm going to swear that you were at my house. The
right.
DA is going to attack me because that's his job. He's not
He's
only
going to
going
attack your
to attack
credibility.
me,
Right.
he's
Yeah.
not only going to attack me, he's not only going to attack my credibility, he's going to also attack me and charge me with perjury.
So you
Because
know
I'm
what?
under
I
oath.
got a question to cut you in on that
But
because that
let
led
me just
right
say
into
this
my
part
next
right
one.
here.
Okay.
Let me
All
just
right.
say this
All right.
part right here. He's
All
going
right.
to charge that. Okay, cool. That's fine. That's the law. But why doesn't
All
the
right.
law work for him with state witnesses? You
And
know this
that is,
person
yeah,
lied.
absolutely.
So why don't you
And how do
charge
they
them?
not get
You're an
prosecuted
officer
later?
of the court. Just because
Right.
they're testifying for you, they should be charged. That's going to deter them from lying on
Yep.
the stand.
And they should know that, and it would be an ethical
Game
violation
changer.
for an attorney to do that.
Game
As
changer.
anybody,
Because these people wouldn't lie.
and then forget when it's the government with unlimited financial resources and the media in their
Absolutely.
pocket, and they own the internet.
Absolutely.
They run the narrative.
Absolutely.
They bought and
Absolutely.
sold the jurors before you got to court. So with
Yes.
that, I want to ask you this question, and let's get the dialogue. I want the folks to hear what is being said. Do you have any documented proof or any correspondence or anything like that showing law enforcement or prosecutors? We're going to combine them together, showing the government, let's just say. Then I say the government, folks, that means prosecutor, law enforcement, whatever.
I
Everybody
understand.
that was throwing stuff on him. Do you have that anything that you can show that they may have collaborated or coached witnesses or maybe did things that were not so proper?
A
I'm asking now if you
multitude
have
of
legitimate correspondence
I
or
have
some
I can
yeah.
say this,
Not
Eric.
hearsay.
I
We're
can
not
say
going to
this.
do third. We don't do
No,
hearsay,
I
and
don't
I
go
don't.
on
Yeah,
hearsay. I
I
don't
only
go on
tell the
hearsay.
truth here.
I have a
Okay,
multitude. I have a
okay.
multitude of newly presented evidence. A
And I
multitude.
feel like I need to tell you, don't do that on here, unless if you want to understand if your case is going. I don't want you to. It's going to be a live show. I don't want you
Gotcha.
to put out evidence that. Okay,
No,
keep that
I'm
in mind.
not
I'm
speaking
just
on what it
okay.
is. It's just there.
All right. Okay.
That's
I
all I'm
just
saying.
wanted to make sure you understood that, so
Yeah,
you
I
didn't
totally
do
understand.
something. Okay. I want to preserve your constitutionally
I
protected.
totally understand.
So you do. So the answer to that question, and maybe and you could say yay or nay, you do have some sort of actual tangible proof that there was impropriety, maybe witness coaching or something of that effect. You do have some kind of tangible
I
proof of
won't
that.
speak on that, but we're okay.
Okay.
I'll just say
All right.
that.
And I would never, I don't want you to hurt your case. For the folks out there, according to the Innocence Project, which we follow a lot, over 60% of wrongful convictions involve some sort of prosecutorial misconduct and witness misidentification. That is according to the Innocence Project. That is that, and you know they are. I find them to be. They're not partisan. I find them to be factual. I find them to report well. Now I'm sure I'm going to be botted or trolled that there was a
I
mistake or something
I
misquoted,
have
but I
a
believe they're pretty good.
I have somewhat of a rhetorical question or a concept that will
Sure,
bring full circle what you just said.
absolutely. Let's do it. Or
Let's
actually,
take
you
it
know what?
out
Let's
of
take a
let's
short. Let's take a 2-second station identification
Gotcha.
break, folks.
Okay.
You're with Eric A. Cinotti, Unplugged on your AM dial, your FM dial, iHeart, Spotify, across the board, television. If we're not, demand it. Okay, back to you, James. So go on.
Okay. So look at it like this. We have a company that deals with the public, say 95% we're right 100% of the time. We're going to get investigated by the government. Something's wrong. Nothing's that perfect.
Right. Yeah.
So
Nothing.
why
Yeah. Right.
is the American justice system so perfect that you can carry a consistent 95% conviction rate for decades?
But we all know the answer to that, James, because they have
Absolutely. That's why I
the
said it was a
coffers of
rhetorical
government
question.
and tax-paying dollars
Yeah.
is unlimited. And when you're a U.S. assistant U.S. attorney or a district attorney, a prosecutor on state, federal, whatever level,
Yes.
you don't care. You get a salary. You may get some overtime. You have to keep it going, and you have unlimited money. But you're sending account investigators. I mean,
Consider this. It was said by William Nietzsche,
yeah,
German philosopher. He says,
Nietzsche.
beware.
Oh, let's hear it. I
of
love Nietzsche. I quote him a lot.
Beware of the monsters ye vanquish, yet ye become a monster yourself. The system is a monster.
You know what's funny? That quote also goes into some experience I have in my previous life and things I've done with behavioral analysis and investigations. And that quote is actually from, it was also used for those that stare into the abyss working on criminal cases. You must, when you stare into the abyss, eventually the abyss stares back.
Yes, stares back.
And that actually was in a famous quote.
And that
the first criminal profiler in the FBI.
When you have qualified immunity, it makes you a beast.
Qualified immunity.
It makes you a monster.
Let me cut you off, James.
Position.
Let me cut you off for 1 second, James. I want to tell the folks out there what you mean by that, because a lot of folks may not be up with legal jargon.
I understand.
For the folks listening or watching, qualified immunity is when the government, if they are acting, and again, this is very broad, but if they are acting in the capacity of their official duties, and they had good intentions, and they were not intentionally trying to violate your rights, not intentionally, whatever, something happened in a mistake or whatever, they are protected from being sued by you, the folks, me, you, everybody out there, the people that they're accountable to, the taxpayer, us, we the people, they are protected under what is known as qualified immunity. I mean, they're immune from prosecution and being sued if they follow the law and the facts. Very, very broad and subjective, but okay, go on, James.
Okay. Here's a little tidbit on that helps now in California. Gavin Newsom has done some amazing things with that, with the Los Angeles DA, Gascon. What happened is, I think in 2017, they passed an amendment, 1909, AB 1909, and it allows the courts to prosecute criminality within your case, from a prosecutor, from law enforcement. So it actually works in the favor of the defendant, but a lot of people don't know how that stuff
works. Need to know that, right? Yeah. It's called prosecutorial. It's called selective prosecution.
Yeah, it's
prosecutorial overreach and prosecutorial misconduct.
You're looking at, like in certain situations, you look at a term called this is a term called color of law, color of authority.
The color of law, right?
Which is a federal crime that can go up to 9 years. Well, if you are law enforcement or representing law enforcement in any way, and you do something against the law, like many people don't know that a DA that knows a person is sitting on a jury, sitting on a witness stand and lying, and he knows they're lying, and all he does is impeach them. Yeah. But he knew they were lying. This is his job. He doesn't charge them.
And he violated his oath besides committing a crime.
He also becomes a participant in that crime. And it's called suborning perjury.
Yeah, he's a co-conspirator.
Essentially. You guided that. You helped that along.
You facilitated that process.
When you don't know the law, then that's where you lose. Ignorance of the law, they say, is what?
It is no excuse. It is no excuse. But the laws are so convoluted, James. And
absolutely.
And Congress and just Congress at the federal level, but states and counties and
this
cities,
is why
they're passing laws on a daily basis over and over again. And they're never taking one out.
This
But
is
they're
why
never
you need
removing
the
one
AI
out.
because they're
Yes.
really crafty. You're absolutely right. But have you ever played a game of chess on level 5 and won against AI?
You can't win. There's no winning.
And they can't win either because the AI
Right.
is unbiased. The AI is not
Yeah.
trying to build a political career.
That's why
It's
it needs
not
to be
trying.
open source. That's why you need to stick
Yeah,
with open source. So then they
that's what
can
I'm
show
doing.
it AI is not shaded. Right.
That's what I
And
did. What I did
I
is
have
I have
experience with
my
AI is
my
pretty good
bot.
with that stuff.
The bot in my company is being built, and it's called Ali, which is after my
Okay.
only son's name. But Ali stands for Artificial Legal Intelligence.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. So now we're gonna bring right into what you're talking about. From the prison
Okay.
cell, you created something extraordinary, obviously, a technical driven platform designed to fight back, to stand up, to say, in your face, I'm here, I'm innocent, and I'm going to try the best I can, and I'm going to utilize every resource. So tell us about the InMyDefenseFund.com. What sparked the vision? Where are you now? How can I help you? How can we help you? What can we do so you can help others?
This is my vision with that. I thought about this all the way back in county jail in this case. And that was this was back in 2016 where the AI in this respect was still fairly new, but I understood the concept because I know
Right.
that AI operates off of data. And by studying the law, I realized the law is really just all data.
Right.
It's not really complicated. They try to make it complicated with the bells and whistles and the smoke screens. But AI will be able to see through all that because the law is the law. So
Right.
the thing is with In My Defense Fund, what I need, where I'm at right now, we're in process of getting the site built. It should be the launch date should be sometime towards the summer of this year. And right now we have a landing page. Right now we have social media. We're on all the platforms. We're on Facebook. We're on uh, um, um, Instagram, TikTok, uh,
Right.
um, LinkedIn, and also Lemonade. And we're on X. We're on X as well. So
Nice.
that they can go and they can kind of just get a feel for where we're going. But this is what is needed. I need people to follow, to like, to participate, to uh, just get a whole dialogue going where this is concerned. These are the
We always
people
need a
that
dialogue. We have to talk about these things always, because if you don't, they control the media. They control the narrative. They control
right.
the jurors before you even get into a courtroom.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Well, what's
100%
interesting
right.
about it is here's where this works. It works like a GoFundMe, as I said, but what it's going to
Okay.
do, it's unlike the Innocent Project. The Innocent Project has to pick the people that they're going to help. That's why it
Right.
takes so long. The same
This one,
information
it's,
that
it's
gets
help
these people
yourself kind of thing.
exonerated 10 years later was available 10 years ago.
Right.
But
And the
I
damage is done
wrote
by
the
that
Innocent
point. I mean, the
Project
emotional,
myself. I
you
wrote
know, the
them and they
infliction of
told
emotional
me
distress,
this
the
is what they told
defamation of
me.
your character.
They told me in the Innocent Project. They said, "Look, we know that your case is valid. We looked at it, but we can't get to it right now because we are too swamped. There's too many
Yeah.
cases." So what I'm doing is the way I came up with In My Defense Fund. Well, basically, it comes down to money. So
Right.
the Innocent Project is going to take donated funds and apply them to particular cases. Well, I
Right.
want to bypass the middleman. I want to take it direct to the public. You decide when you look at this person's truth page, you decide if you want to donate or not. You donate directly to that person. And when you donate to them, their funds build up. And then now you're familiar with ambulance chasers, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
turn
I don't
criminal
want. I don't want
attorneys.
to put that on all the legal profession, but yes, we're
Well,
familiar
no,
with it.
I'm just using the term because it's mostly about civil attorneys.
Right.
I want to turn criminal attorneys into ambulance chasers. What do you think's going to happen when the criminal attorneys come on my site and start looking at, oh, Joe Blow or Joe Schmogio over here, he has $300,000 donated to his defense, and that's all he could use it for. Oh, they're going to start
And then
calling
your
him
people,
instantly.
and listen, James, I also want to, and it's not in my notes, But I want to formally tell you, we have both shows. You're coming on the other show, folks
Okay.
out there. He's coming on the Hostile Zone. If you have other people and you think it's a good enough, it's some kind of case that maybe we want to cover, I mean,
Yeah.
you let me know and we'll run it through production
I'll
like
do
we
that.
did to get on you
And
now.
I'm in the
I
right
would love
position
to.
for that. I'm in definitely
Yeah,
the right
I would love to
position for
do
it.
that.
Yeah, because
I
there's a
mean,
lot
we'll
of them.
do our
I was
vetting.
shocked to see so many, because I
Right.
was, like I said, this is my first time down. So I was shocked to see that there's a lot of people that didn't do it,
Right.
and they really didn't. That's what I was explaining too, where my
I'm not
AI
sure if you
is
heard me before with there was a little bit of delay, but I said your case sounds a lot like what's happening to Andrew Tate. And I recently was covered that on a previous show. We talked a
yeah,
little bit about Andrew Tate. And they
okay,
came at him with this human trafficking
absolutely,
kind of stuff. And they just keep bringing out, granted, this is in another country, but shame on you, Florida. When he came into Florida, they were going to try to, they seized his laptop and things like
it's the
that.
latest rage for them.
It
That's
is,
all.
right? I mean,
It's the
I
latest.
talk about overreach. I mean, we
Yeah.
have a Fourth Amendment, folks. We have a Fourth Amendment of the Constitution that
They don't
protects
care
your
about.
personal papers, property, yourself, and papers and property, and all that, folks out there. That includes your phones, all your data. When they say papers, includes electronic metadata today, and they're
Yeah.
just with a sweep of a pen, just eroding the Fourth Amendment and just blanketly granting prosecutors and district attorneys authority that the Constitution should never allow. And whatever judge signs off on these should be ashamed of themselves because they really have to be it's all about specificity for the folks out there on the place, where, what you're looking for, and why. That's the only time they can get around when they get a warrant. That's the only time you get around the Fourth Amendment is when there is enough information to get a judge to sign a warrant. And I always ask, how did these things happen? I mean, it's just shocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me ask you now a couple follow-ups, and we can go back and forth here. Carrie, where are we on time with this episode right now?
We got about 10 minutes.
I want to go commercial free to the end with this one, so I can get this. Unless I get through this. So I got another question for you, James. And again, I want to say it out there, putting my legal cap on. Don't incriminate yourself, and when I say incriminate yourself, people think, oh, never talk to the police. Don't have
Absolutely.
meetings with the prosecution. They are not your friends. And another one, folks, they are allowed to lie to you. They are allowed to. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled on this. They are allowed to tell you something that is not true to get you to admit something that they want you to say. You have a right to an attorney, Sixth Amendment. So with that, I always plug that in there, James. You talk about post-legal relief. Explain that to our audience. Like, how is
Say that
this
again.
different from your traditional legal representation process?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. I didn't hear the
I was
question.
saying you're talking about post legal relief. So explain to the audience, the listeners, and the viewers out there, what is the difference between your platform and this process compared to traditional legal representation? And then also, they obviously can be coupled
What you
together.
have-
Obviously, your attorney can utilize these services. Obviously, correct,
You broke up on me on that last part. I'm sorry.
James?
Yeah, I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Said I asked you. Okay, it's a delay. It's okay. Well, that's fine. Yeah, the recording will be fine. It's going to be when it shows up in front of you. It's different. Anyway, so my question was, and it's a follow-up question, and again, don't incriminate yourself in any way. And I'm saying that I did hear that, right, where I said, never talk to the police, never talk to them. Always utilize your Sixth Amendment right to an attorney, because they're never going to ask you. You're never going to clear yourself in an interview with the police folks. It's not going to happen. Nobody goes in and says, "Oh, I'm yeah." It doesn't work. You need a lawyer. Bottom line. Sorry to say, it's expensive. It's sad, but it is. So this program you created, what makes this different, or the same, or can it be coupled with your standard legal representation process? Traditional. What people, I have an attorney. Here we go.
Okay, I think I understand the question, even though you broke up. I think I understand it a little bit. What makes the difference between post-conviction representation and pre-conviction?
For the folks out there, I
Pre-conviction.
apologize, but there's a technical glitch with James. Carrie, is he there? What I'm asking is, obviously, what I'm saying, can your platform be coupled with traditional legal process? Like, would this be helpful to, let's say, a defense counsel if they were handling the case?
This is what happens with that. When you get an attorney post conviction, that means that there was evidence that was either buried, hidden, it's called newly presented evidence. Newly presented evidence gets you back in court to get them to hear the case again. Because it's basically states that if this information was available at the time,
Yeah,
you may not have been convicted.
You're coming in broken up. I'm not sure if Kerry's getting you, but I know what. Basically, new evidence that's coming forward, right? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, when you have new evidence, it has to be evidence that could have been discovered at the time but wasn't. That's why they call it newly presented evidence.
I'm not.
But the newly presented evidence is so overwhelming.
I got nobody in my studio that hearing you.
It's so overwhelming to the fact that they have to look at it, because if it would have been presented at the time, the outcome would have been different.
What other?
It has to be more likely than
It's
not. That
it's
is
still
the
on
standard.
Yes.
The reasonable,
Yes.
the reasonable
It
standard.
can't just be anything. It has to be
forward.
But
More
see, there's
likely
a lot
than
of
not.
because here's some newly discovered evidence. Newly discovered evidence is if there's something that you discovered in your discovery that was hidden.
I can hear you.
Okay, so if there's evidence that was discovered that was hidden, that's newly discovered evidence.
So I think I understand, Kerry. Mute him for 1 second in case there's a delay. I think I picked up enough. Okay, so I picked up enough on my end to say you're basically talking about newly discovered evidentiary support that may or may not have been available in discovery. Folks for out there, discovery would be when the government, the prosecution, turns over all the evidence they intend to use against the individual that they are targeting, that they are prosecuting. So in that discovery compile of millions of pages of documents, there might be something that was overlooked, or like James said, buried and ignored. And maybe that your defense counsel representing you did not see. Am I correct, James? Did I reiterate that back properly?
So evidence that could have been discovered by your public defender, and he didn't get it. So this evidence is available that you find out.
Right.
And you bring this evidence back to court. It was an ineffective assistance of counsel, which is
now, let me ask you a question. It just hit my mind. I don't mean to interrupt you, James, but it just hit me. I have a question. Has anybody ever brought up ineffective counsel to you before?
Oh, absolutely. I understand it all.
Have you heard that brought up?
And I have it in my case as well.
Okay. I was just wondering that. I'm not making accusations. I'm asking. I'm looking at paperwork that I have, and I'm just wondering.
It exists.
Okay.
It exists very well, and I have proof that it did.
Okay. And we don't make accusations here. We don't convict people on my show.
I'm not going to say something that I can't prove. That's one. It's not what they say in law. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove. I can prove everything I'm saying.
What you can prove. It's interesting because folks don't know out there, and I'm going to, and we'll get into it in the other show, and people will follow us over into the hostile zone for the other show. A lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, James, you did a plea deal in New York because the case was dragging on for years. It affected your everyday life.
You're breaking up really bad.
Carrie, am I breaking up for you? Because I'm not getting. No one else here is having that. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I think you were speaking in terms of it was breaking up so badly. It's hard. I know. Follow. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. So then, we got plenty of another show too. So I'm going to move into my next question for you. You say guilt or innocence. Oh, I know what it was I was going to say. I was going to say, and you pled guilty to a lesser charge because this case dragged on for years and it cost you tons of money, and the government has unlimited resources to come at you. And you're just a man, a regular everyday American, making the grind to go to work and make your money and take care of your family. You don't have disposable income to throw at lawyers, to throw at defense experts and private investigators, et cetera. You took a deal because you felt you had no other alternative. Am I correct?
I'll tell you the reason why I took that deal, because I had never been in jail before that.
Right.
And I'd been sitting there 18 months, 2,500 miles away from my family.
You were in Rikers Island, which is notoriously one of the worst in America.
I was in the worst building in Rikers Island. I was in the Beacon.
Wow. Okay.
The worst
I mean,
building in Rikers Island.
we're going to talk
So
about your experiences on the other show about that. I want to know.
I told my attorney at the time, I said, listen, I'll take this deal, even though he was upset that I took it, because he knew he could beat the case. But at the same time, I took the deal anyway because I wanted to go home to my family.
Of course. And that's
why.
where I was going to go. That's where I was going to go with that, is that so many people, and I personally noticed from my personal experience, I went through a case myself, and I fell into an interesting loophole where there's a thing called an Alford plea, and it actually derives from the state that actually this case occurred. And I did what is known as an Alford plea, which meant I was able to tell the judge and the prosecutor that, yes, I am maintaining my innocence, but the financial repercussions and the pain and suffering on my family, let's just end this. It's kind of like settling out of court you would do in a civil case.
And if you
where
thought
somebody sues somebody big, you know what I mean? You sue somebody.
If you thought
and then
Rikers
they
was
settle.
bad, this case, I've been down now for 10 years. I am a umbilical cord cutting father of 5 kids, my twin daughters. I've missed out on 10 years of my twins. They just turned 17.
And you know what? And you know what's great, James? Hold that thought, because we're going to discuss that when we have you on. I want the family touch, because Miss Bianca C, my co-host, will be on that.
Okay.
And this is your legal moment, and when we'll discuss
I got you.
your life has been affected. This is it'll be like a 2-parter, and we'll have you back again. We're going to follow this case. So, Kerry, where are we on time?
You got 4 minutes.
Okay, cool. I can squeeze these in here. I like you said somewhere, and I want to roll this right at you. You say guilt or innocence should not depend on the size of your bank account. So, I mean, there it is. There it is. I mean,
there it is. Well, here's an interesting
the more money
thing.
you have, the more
resources
you have.
Here's an interesting tidbit to go with that, what you just said. In this case, I had an attorney come and visit me to represent me. I didn't have enough money to hire him. He gave me a business card. Guess what his slogan on his business card as an attorney was? How much justice can you afford, is what it said.
Wow. And you know what? I mean, that is a painful thing. We have to. So I'm gonna get this into a close down here. All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna get into, and I guess we're gonna tell everybody that we're gonna have you back on again, because we are on a 1 hour time slot, so we have to come to a hard close in a second.
I understand.
But I'm gonna give you the last 30 seconds to describe your platform and get everybody over to the hostile zone, so we can learn more about how this has affected your life and your family, and how other people can reach out to your program and how they can help you raise money and help you with services.
Okay.
Here it is. 30 seconds. It's all yours, James.
Okay. InMyDefenseFund.com is a platform to help innocent and wrongfully convicted people get back in court and get a fair day for the first time back in court with private counsel. We all know about public defenders and how they don't
they get on the top of their paycheck, James. It all says the government.
Absolutely. Yep. So if you had a lawyer that you paid, you'd 9 times out of 10 have a better outcome. What we're trying to do is we're generating crowdfunding for people to get them proper justice.
In that 5 seconds, tell the folks where they can go help you right now.
You can find us at In My Defense Fund 64 on Instagram. We're In My Defense Fund on, what is the other one? Facebook,
Twitter, X, or whatever. Instagram.
We're on LinkedIn. We're on TikTok, and we're also on X. And
for the folks out there, I will include all of these links. James, we're coming to a hard close. Thank you for coming to the show. We're going to stay in the green room. We'll talk to you after this episode. James, thank you very much. InOurDefenseFund.com, folks. .com, right? Or .org?
.com.
.com. Check them out. You know what? We all, as Americans, have due diligence. We should all donate $1, because it could be you. Just $1. $1 from everybody listening and watching today can help one person maybe not go through what many go through wrongfully accused. Folks, I thank you for coming out to Eric A. Cinotti Unplugged. I want to throw one little factoid in there. Over 80% of defendants in criminal courts cannot afford private counsel. They rely on an overloaded government-provided public system. All right, so with that, folks, I thank you very much for all that you have done, for coming to the show. Eric A. Cinotti, Unplugged, as always, coming at you every night. We will see you tomorrow night. Eric A. Cinotti, keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention. You don't want to be wrongfully accused. Danger and the government is always watching. Have a good night. God bless America.
At the Rembrandt Law Firm, we understand the importance of your constitutional rights. We truly care that we must get a client their desired result. If your freedom is compromised in any way, you call us. We do immigration, state and federal criminal defense, personal injury, bankruptcy, DWIs, family law, real estate law. We want you to be confident in our ability to represent you.
Ever thought about turning your spare change into serious investments? Let me introduce you to Acorns. This app makes investing as simple as one easy swipe of your credit or debit card. With Acorns, every purchase you make rounds up and invest the difference. Watch your future grow one swipe at a time. Start small, dream big. With Acorns, every bit adds up to something significant. Download Acorns today. Acorns.com/share, or use your smartphone camera and scan the QR code on the screen, or enter my referral code 56XJQPC. Again, referral code 56XJQPC, and get $5 for free compliments of me to start investing today just by downloading the app. Download Acorns now. I'm Eric A. Cinotti, the host of the syndicated radio TV talk show, The Hostile Zone, right here on iHeartRadio.
Thank you.